What's up, everybody? It's your girl July with Youth on Record, and in this video I'm going to talk about mixing. So I don't want to go too in-depth with this, but I do want to tell you the basics of mixing and how you can do it in Soundtrap. So mixing is when you make your voice and the music involved, or whatever the case may be in your recording, in the project that you're working on, you make all of those elements sound as clear as possible. Nothing is too loud, nothing pops out, nothing is too quiet. So that is the essential basic foundation of what mixing is. It's making sure nothing is too loud, nothing is too quiet. You can hear everything clearly. So just stick with that and you'll understand everything else I talk about. So in Soundtrap, I am going to use this track, which is the one I recorded on my phone. And by track, I mean this particular vocal take. And in order to mix your tracks or your vocals, music, whatever you might want to mix, you would click on this little circle icon in the left. And this will bring up the mixer. So right off the bat, we have a voice, and we could choose between different voices. It's already on clean, meaning there's no effects on it. But what we can do is mess around with some stuff. Let's go ahead and just be experimental so I can show you what we're working with here. So let's choose telephone and let's listen to what it does to my vocal. I start a picture and I finish it. I don't think about art while I work. I try to think about life. So really cool telephone effect. It would definitely come in handy if you are, for example, working on a project and you're using different voices and you want them to sound like they're in different spaces. So let's go ahead and try Dizzy next and let's see what that sounds like. I start a picture and I finish it. I don't think about art while I work. I try to think about life. So that one is definitely crazy. It's doing a lot, and we probably wouldn't necessarily want that for a basic artist statement, but these are your options. So you can click clean one. There's also some that might help rather than hinder the process, and that is clean mic enhancer or mobile mic enhancer. I use my phone on this, so let's try mobile mic enhancer and see what it sounds like. I start a picture and I finish it. I don't think about art while I work. I try to think about life. Now, that's really cool, but the echo behind that, which is like making me sound like I'm in a cave, is a little bit much. So we could turn down the reverb. And if you like any of the presets that you hear, and presets, by presets, I mean by these different mixing options that are already available to you, instrument presets. If you like any of these, you can alter them so that they fit what you want. You could take out the parts you don't like. I start a picture and I finish it. I don't think about art while I work. I try to think about life. Awesome. So in the beginning of this clip, I also have like a breath that I've been dying to get out and keep forgetting. So let's cut that. I start a picture and I finish it. I don't think about art while I work. I try to think about life. Cool. So that is how you load up presets. But if you want to kind of be more hands-on, then what you can do is we'll make sure we select clean because we don't want anything on the vocal. And this is what clean would sound like. I start a picture and I finish it. I don't think about art while I work. I try to think about life. So at your disposal, you have access to these presets. You have a basic amp here, in which you could change the bass of your vocal, which is like the low end, more like a radio sound if you turn up your bass, and I'll turn it up and play it for you. I start a picture and I finish it. I don't think about art while I work. I try to think about life. So if I turn the bass all the way down, it'll kind of sound more thin. I start a picture and I finish it. I don't think about art while I work. And hopefully you could hear the difference in the low end or bass frequencies, or the lower part of my voice. Deeper part of my voice gets more, it gets turned up if I turn up this knob. It's brought out more. On the opposite end, we have treble, which is the high end of my voice. So let's listen while we turn this up. I start a picture and I finish it. I don't think about art while I work. I try to think about life. Now, while this can work to make sure that your recordings sound clearer, it could also bring out a lot of white noise. So be careful with the treble knob for the high end. Beside that, we have the reverb, and we talked about reverb. It makes it sound like you're in a cave, so we'll skip that. Next, you have pan. This will allow you to pan your track from left to right in your ear. If you're wearing a headset or headphones, this would be more apparent. So I'm going to play it and pan it from left to right so you can hear it. I start a picture and I finish it. That's left. I don't think about art while I work. I try to think about life. That's right. So you could play with this if you want it to sound like someone's going around you in a circle or anything like that. And then if you would like to reset it, we'll just hit the back button. That's how we fix that. And you also have another volume knob here in which you could turn up the volume. I start a picture and I finish it. I don't think about art while I work. I try to think about life. Cool. So those are the basic effects that are already available to you. If you decide to start making music in Soundtrap, you'll have a blast, especially if you've never used anything else. It'll be great to get a start in Soundtrap as there's a lot available to you. We have a basic amp. You could switch to a vocal amp if you want to try that out. The only thing missing is the bass and treble. There is a tone knob instead, which also acts as a bass and treble knob, but it's all in one. If you go down, you also have a multitude of guitar amps. Amp that'll make you sound like the 60s if you're playing an instrument, amp cruncher, and so on. You can also save your own presets. Now down here, you'll see windows where you can add your own effects. Now, in this clean preset, we have an EQ and a compressor, and those are the most common effects you'll use when recording your vocals. If you're making a beat or recording instruments, anything like that, you'll also get into using more reverb, and you'll be panning a lot more because you want to make sure that the instruments kind of cover the stereo field, which is what you hear from left to right. But we'll talk about that in another video. In the next video, I'll talk about what these two are in the clean vocal preset, and I'll also talk about some other options you have in basic effects that you can use for editing your vocals. And in a future video, I'll talk about what you might use for editing your beats.